I kind of fucked up where I put these. Got to move almost every single one of them right now. And at like 85 pounds a box, this kind of sucks. Because I got to get out the tractor because we got 6 to 8 inches of snow outside. And I got to do the parking lot in the back or the driveway. And I got 2 other houses I got to go do. Oh, fun. Well, I got quite a few of them under there. 14 of them underneath. I'm going to be putting 8 more up top. Holy shit, or my arms rubber after lifting those up there. Holy shit. Okay, so finally, I can get the tractor out of there. I can get my quad outside under a tarp. I got 7 diesel engines up there, and of course all my other horde is up there. Got 10 horse and a 6 horse here. That's probably going to get wet, but I'm not too worried because I'm going to actually do an unboxing video on that one, hopefully by Sunday. In between them, I have a piece of wood with some kitty litter or stuff to, you know, suck up oil and stuff. So hopefully if there's any water in the garage, that will suck it up. They are also sitting on top of 3/4 inch plywood. So I know I should have went a bit higher, but there's no clearance. So anyway, that's the way that stuff's going to sit. Got to find a new storage spot for my chainsaws now. Well, anyway, tractor's back in. Did great in the snow, no issues whatsoever. Besides, I still got a fuel leak. Now, I'm starting to look. I'm leaking fuel. It looks almost like it's coming from under the exhaust, but it's not leaking at the injector where I could see it. To be honest, I just haven't had time to look at it. But I used it anyway, and it's leaking from the on and off valve, which is not too big of a deal. Okay, so I thought I might as well make an unboxing video of one of these 6 horsepower engines. I already pulled apart the last 10 horse. It's sitting over here. Fired right up, no problems with that one. It is brand new. Anyway, going to do an unboxing video. As you can see, I got a whole pile of them up there. I got a bunch of them underneath there. And yeah, they don't take up much room. It's not too bad. So I can sew them slowly as I need to. Anyway, I'm going to do an unboxing video. The reason why this one has duct tape on it is because when I was taking it off the truck, I accidentally ripped it. Every other one's sealed. This is what it looks like when it's out of the box here. They're rebranded as Aerotech. So, anyway, I'll move my tractor parts off it here and I'll start an unboxing video. Okay, so I have never actually opened one of the 6 horse models yet. I sold a few of them, but never opened them. They weigh approximately, I'd say 80 pounds or so. Okay, let's see what she comes with. Okay. User manual, a set of tools for adjusting the speed, 17 mil for bleeding it, and some just tags and, you know, whatever else. Retail stuff. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is put away my knife before I stab myself. And, oop, that fell on the ground, that was good. Anyway, just trying to think of the easiest way to do it. Because I actually want to save this box because I'm a hoarder and I like saving boxes to put stuff in. So ripping it is not really what I'm going to do. I'm going to tip it upside down, dump it out, and then flip it back. And hope it doesn't fall. And if it does, it does. Okay, so it's upside down. Keep it on the side. Yeah, they do come with crank bolts. That's kind of handy. Try not to scratch it too bad here. There we go. It comes with a key and a crank bolt. That's pretty handy. I didn't know they came with that. I know some people were saying that they ordered from other sources and they never came with it. Yes, it's completely empty. Yep, that gas tank is completely empty, nothing in there. Not going to be any oil in it, but there you go. Anyway, I'm going to grab the camera off the tripod here and hope everything was in view. Yep. The only thing I don't want in view is my ass crack, but I'm pretty sure that's good there. Anyway, there she is. Arrow tech stamped on it instead of Lund top, or however you want to say it. These come with no ignition, so you got the one power wire right here that would go to your battery. You got your main battery cable that goes here, and that would be your power for starting it, which I think would only require, by the looks of it, maybe 5 amps or something, I think, because it's going through a relay. Well, built in, that is the relay. Start a solenoid. Anyway. Oh, thought there was a flick in the paint. That's some grease covering the whole thing. That's your cold start. You'd pull that out, put a drop of oil in there. No, I'm not going to bother with that. A little bit of dirt on the oil fill there, but anyway, I'm going to grab some oil from my hoard here and throw some oil in her. And as for oil that I run in them, I can't reach. I got it. Right there. That's all I put in them. So, anyway, probably the best oil in my opinion you can ever buy for one of these motors. And one thing I hate doing because I always make a mess. Right underneath there. I don't have my big funnel right now, so I'm going to use this little baby thing, which is going to make a mess. I have no idea really how much it takes. I never read. I just know go until it's on the dipstick. Technically this oil will be, if this is one I'd be keeping, I'd be draining this oil out after about, probably about an hour or two of running. Should be almost the same color. Sure, you can burn the oil in a diesel pretty quick if you really wanted to, but. And the light in here sucks, so it's hard to even tell how much I'm putting in. Like how much is in the funnel, I mean. Anyway, you don't need to see the rest of this, so I'll pause the camera. Okay, so oil's in there. Took about a liter and a little bit, liter and a quarter, I mean. I'm gonna fill her up with some fuels. Always make sure to use clean fuel, of course, no water in it. One of my buddies bought one of these off me and he was having problems. Sure enough, his fuel had water in it. There's a screen in here, but that won't screen out water. I'm just going to fill this up halfway. I'm not going to do a full break-in on this one. I'll leave it up to the guy buying it. I'm going to give it about half a tank. The main thing is check for leaks. Prime the system, which I guess I can videotape that. And of course these jerry cans suck at pouring. And that's about a quarter tank, half tank. That's where I'm going to leave it. According to this, is at half a tank. So I'm going to burn through that and hopefully be around when it runs out. And of course these gas caps are not, I don't know, they're kind of Chinese, I could say. There we go. Wipe anything off there, put away my jerry can. I was going to fire her up on motor oil, but don't have any of the shitty motor oil, so I'll have to use the mystery blue stuff. Anyway, okay, time to prime her. Start by putting a cloth underneath because to catch it. That should be good. Should be down in there. You don't really need to do that, but I like to keep it, you know, fairly clean. Anyway, I'll grab a 17 mil and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so anyway, main thing you got to do when you prime it, turn on the fuel. Once the fuel's on, you got to turn the throttle on. I go right to full. Then you're going to keep the compression release down, but you're going to crack this line first. And of course this one's nice and loose. There's no need to use a line wrench on here, I always say, because believe it or not, you're not going to go very tight with this. So and there's no need to really unscrew it right off. I just go until it's loose. Okay, so first step is unhook this. The fuel line going to the injector. Sometimes you will have to actually unhook the entire rubber fuel line from under here to get all the air out of it to get it to prime proper. And one more thing I thought I'd mention, you can also blow in the gas tank, which will sometimes help prime it. Save you the trouble of having to take off the lines. A little bit of force in the gas tank or a couple of hits sometimes, but normally, you know, you need to blow. That will also help to prime the system. Normally they prime pretty easy. Okay, here's one thing that I should actually bring to your attention. Even though this is a brand new one, you should not have this problem. But I did have this problem with the used one that was in the pile. It was actually, I think, that one right there. Brand new out of the box. So here's your adjuster right here. I could say going to your governor. Make sure that moves, because on that motor there, it actually was locked up solid where I had to take a little wrench, I think, and I just pried on it. Took a little bit of force, but it broke it free. But yeah, make sure that's hooked up. Make sure it's moving. Just like that. Of course, you'll have a little spring on this side. You'll have a big spring on the other side, which will be on the second notch. I guess actually I'll show you. The reason why I'm adding this in the video, if anyone has this problem, because I'm probably not going to be checking them all out, but you see the spring right here? You see it's on the second notch there. So I have no idea what's going to happen if you put it on the first notch. I also recommend grab a pair of needle nose pliers, kind of pinch that inwards just to make sure it never pops off. If this motor does for some reason not shut off, just press the compression release. It'll stall the motor. You don't have to worry, it's not going to kick back on your finger or anything. It's perfectly fine on it. So anyway, once you make sure that's all working, should fire right up. I'll put you back on the tripod, and I'll actually I could probably do it in my mouth here, just to show you how it the injector pumps. It helps if you have it on full throttle. For starting, I recommend just a little bit less than full throttle, unless it's cold outside. Anyway, you can see there it was priming. I'll put back on my nut, and should be good, just ready to start. Of course, you might want to check a couple bolts, make sure everything's good. As for this oil line here, if you're running a turbo or anything, you might want to double check that's tight. This one, it looks like it's kind of backed out a bit. I will check it, but just not right now. Oh, and of course, make sure you take off your key before you start it. Otherwise, you'll probably go flying across your shop. And again, one more thing I'm going to mention. Do not over-tighten this. You will break it. Okay, so next thing you're going to do is, all the way down is where it says start. I don't like starting them there. I'll back it off to right about there. So it leaves a fairly decent spot underneath it. Kind of hard to say, but that's where I like to start it. Now, as long as your fuel's on the on position there, and you check that you have no leaks, it should start up within 1 or 2 pulls if you're inside. Like right now, our garage is set for, I think we're at plus 15 Celsius. Yeah, it looks like 15, 16. And actually, plus 15, 16, it might take a little bit more. But anyway, I'll put you on a tripod and I'll give it a first start test. Okay, well, here goes nothing. I'm going to start it up on a chunk of cardboard here just so it doesn't take its way out of here. Got my pants, not a plumber. Make sure it's in the view. Yeah, she's good. And it's pretty chilly outside, so I better go quick. Anyway, I'm going to purposely hold down the compression release to prime it. That should be more than enough. Pull out my pants. Hold it so you hit the compression release, hold this down, and give it one hell of a pull. think it'll stay there by itself, so it might fall over, so I better watch it. Anyway, running excellent, no extra smoke or anything, so anyway, I'll let that warm up for about 10 minutes and then I'll give it a couple good revs. Okay, I ran it at a high speed for, well, medium speed for about 10 minutes. Now I just got it idling, just turned it down to idle. Running very efficient, almost zero smoke. Okay, time for some revs. Anyway, you can't get much more efficient than that. Almost zero smoke from it. Can't say the same about this machine. This one here smokes like a bitch, but that's because I got an injector leak on it. So anyway, might as well let it run for another 10 minutes at least, and then I'll put it back on the paper, let it sit on the cardboard overnight, and make sure I got no leaks in the morning. And how low will she go? That's the absolute lowest I could get it to idle. Oh, well, I shouldn't say it that quick. That was pretty much the lowest it would idle at. Any lower, it would just stall. Anyway, try to do a warm start here. Anyway, that's right there. It's probably about 2,000 RPM it's running at now. Might be 2,200, hard to say. I don't have a gauge to check it right now. Anyway, there we go. Ran her for a total of 15 minutes. Thing's still pretty well ice cold. No heat there. Well, a little bit of heat on top of the valve cover. Anyway, no visible leaks that I could see. It's a little bit wet now from sitting in the slush. Anyway, have a guy coming to pick this one up tomorrow. It's gone. A couple people were asking me about shipping to the States. Well, someone brought it to my attention that the Lund-top engines might actually not be legal to ship to the States as of 2014 because something about a tier 3 or tier 4 company, Lund-top isn't. Well, these ones have been rebranded as Aerotech. Aerotech is Aerotech Herman Nelson, which is a local company here that sells diesel heaters. The story with these motors is they were going to use these motors in diesel heaters, and they realized that in minus 40 weather, that the clone motors weren't exactly what they thought they would be for starting. So, because none came with block heaters, they'd have to add block heaters. And then they might have ran into a reliability problem, but I really doubt that because every single used one that I got from this company, all the used ones have ran great. So, well, besides some of them had little glitches, like let's say this one here, when I got it, this plate here was pushed over, which was stopping this from moving. Which, of course, locked it in the off position. It very well could have locked it in the full throttle position. This one here has some kind of notes on here, but I can't really read what they wrote on there. So, anyway, this one here is gone. I'm not going to be boxing it back up because the guy picking it up wants to see it run. And, yeah, started up first pull here. I'm sure he's going to start up first pull when he comes here.